Republican leaders are expected to drop a political stinker on President Donald Trump by mid-December, a donor-backed amendment that would allow investors to import more college graduates from India to take jobs now held by American college graduates. The GOP-run amendment puts 300,000 imported Indian temporary workers and 300,000 of their family members on a fast track to green cards, Americans' jobs, citizenship, and the ballot box, but it provides no benefits to middle-class Americans. The GOP amendment would provide Democratic-leaning donors with more imported white-collar workers, more temporary workers, more profits, and higher stock values, but it provides nothing to help the GOP win the 2020 election. Yet the little-known amendment is very much alive, a source told Breitbart News. The amendment is hidden in House's 2019 draft budget plan for the Department of Homeland Security. Reporters have almost entirely ignored the amendment while they focus on the debate over border wall funding. In turn, business-friendly GOP staffers and legislators do not see the amendment's political danger or the public opposition, the source said. But the Department of Homeland Security has ended its silence on the plan by telling Breitbart News that it opposes the amendment. It is important that Congress does due diligence on any proposed sweeping change to our immigration system, a DHS official told Breitbart News. The bottom line is Congress needs to ensure what they are passing is in the best interests of the American people. The planned hit against white-collar workers comes as GOP leaders digest their dramatic loss in November of support from college graduate voters. First of all, it is suburban voters, retiring Speaker Paul Ryan said on November 29. That is the number one liability we experienced. The banner was flown by the same professionals group that posted billboards against Kansas Representative Kevin Yoder, the leading advocate for the business-backed amendment. Yoder chairs the House Homeland Defense Appropriations Bill, but he lost his race in a suburban district with a large share of college graduates. Yoder added his outsourcing amendment in July to the 2019 DHS budget to help win support from roughly 20,000 naturalized Indian immigrants in his district, many of whom are former contract workers. It will be very difficult for GOP representatives to argue in 2020 that they are the party of higher wages for regular workers if they are backing these guest worker increases, said Mark Krikorian, director of the Center for Immigration Studies. But the political opportunity is there because the Democrats have given up, they could not care about regular workers, he added. Trump has given no indication so far that he will oppose the Yoder amendment and, instead, may support it during negotiations to win $5 billion for border wall funding, Krikorian said. Trump is a businessman, and he supports the use of imported workers, including the H-2B blue-collar workers used by hotels and restaurants, said Krikorian. The business lobbies know perfectly well Trump has been on their side. Because the president has the same view as the business lobbyists. It is a misconception to think he is an immigration restrictionist. What is Yoder's amendment? Yoder's college grad outsourcing amendment is buried in the 2019 funding bill for the Department of Homeland Security. The amendment is marketed as a fair-minded fix to country caps that advocates say is an unfair flaw in migration law. But the amendment fix for country caps would have many knock-on impacts in the nation's very complex immigration laws. The amendment would offer fast-track citizenship to 300,000 Indian college graduate contract workers as well as 300,000 of their family members. Once they visa workers get green cards, they can compete for white-collar jobs nationwide. The beneficiaries also include 50,000 Chinese visa workers, according to DHS data. Starting in 2024, the beneficiaries could become citizens and begin voting for politicians who support more immigration into the United States. Also, the amendment would enable U.S. and Indian outsourcing companies to import many additional India contract workers, further constricting salaries for millions of other American graduates and voters.